Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the Shanks figure from One Piece by Bandai Namco. Now, this is a pretty cool figure. I've been liking this wave so far. Everybody that they've come out with. He is one of the few characters that I've seen so far who is not one of the actual Straw Hat Pirates. And in the series, I always liked this character anyway. I always thought he had a sense of charisma to him. He was strong but yet kind type of character. So overall, I always liked Shanks. So it's pretty interesting now to see him in toy form. So I'm really looking forward to opening him up and seeing all the goodies that they put with him. So with that being said, for anybody who's already subscribed, you're very much appreciated. And for anybody who does watch this video and like it, then I please ask that you subscribe as well. And also check out my One Piece playlist. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, so here he is in packaging. I like the packaging for him. So you get this artwork in the red here. Then you get a picture of Shank doing his iconic scene with Luffy where he's first giving him the straw hat. So I like that. Got One Piece up there, S.H.Figuarts, Shanks, and a little bit of legal and badges underneath of it. Spinning around this way, S.H.Figuarts, Shank. You get a nice picture of the figure and One Piece. Come around here. All right. You get a couple cool pictures of the figure, all his different faces, and of course he comes with a Luffy as well, like the other figures of this line. You get some Japanese legal underneath. All right. Bringing around here. You get a picture of all his different faces, plus him putting the hat on Luffy. You get his name underneath that. Come back around to the front. You get the top here where you get a cutout of the straw hat with a map behind it, so I do like that. And then underneath you get a nice picture of the figure once again, his name and S.H.Figuarts. So, with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. So here he is out of packaging. So overall, I think he's a pretty decent looking figure. Now the first thing we're going to do is go through his points of articulation. So his head does move. He has a shoulder joint with a couple of joints in there with a swivel. He has an elbow joint and a wrist joint. Now, it looks like he has sort of like a swivel here too as well. All right. Bring these arms up. He does have a joint underneath the ribs. It's a little bit restricted due to his shirt. And also a joint here at the hips. He has a thigh joint with a swivel. He has a knee joint. All right. He has a swivel here at the, I guess, the end of his pants. He also has an ankle joint and a toe joint. All right. Now that we've looked through all his points of articulation, we're going to start looking at some of his details. So first off, I really do like the head sculpt of this figure. I think it definitely captures the look from the anime. All right. Look at that side and back around to the front. The front of him, there isn't really that many spectacular detail to it. Now, I do like the factor that his shirt is a separate piece, so you get that nice open mold here. So if you look at it, you can see that that's a more open look, opposed to it just being all one piece and then have them painting in the chest. So I think that's a pretty nice detail and what have you. All right, come around to this side. I like the detailing of the buttons going down the side of his pants. Here's the scabbard for his sword. All right, come around. Whoops. So I knew that was going to happen. All right. Bring this arm down so you can take a look at it. Come around this way. All right, not a whole lot going on in the back. This is a hole here for his cape. We'll get into that as we do the accessories. And then back around this side is pretty much the same as the other side. And right around back to the front. So overall, I think he's a pretty decent looking figure. So now let's start taking a good look at his accessories. So he comes with a couple of different faces. So he has like a happy face here. All right. He has a more serious looking face. All right. He has a goofy face. All right. He has another more serious looking face. And of course, like all the other figures, he does come with a Luffy face as well. All right. Now he has a whole bunch of hands. So he has a holding hand here. Let me see if I can get that a little bit better. All right. He has another holding hand. All right. This one has a wider holding hand opposed to the other one. All right. Here's the other wide holding hand. All right. He has a couple open hands. So he has this open hand here. All right. He has, this one here. All right. And also this one. Now he also comes with a spoon. Comes with this little spoon here. Better. All right. He also comes with his tied off arm. So his arm does get bitten off by the sea monster, which we all know. All right. Comes with an alternate head. So this way he can put the straw hat on. All right. He comes with a cape. All right. And two swords. So he comes with this sword in the scabbard. So if you want to display him with the sword and scabbard, you can. And then he comes with a sword outside of the scabbard. Now, I wonder, most of the time, these usually pop off. Yeah. So if you want to display them with just a scabbard without the sword head, you can as well. And last but not least, he comes with a little Luffy. So you could do the iconic scene where he puts the hat onto Luffy. So now that we looked at everything, let's see how well all this stuff works with him. All right. So first, let's do the alternate head. So what you have to do is you pull the hair off here, the face, and then you pull the head off from the back. No, it pops off. Okay. That pops off. All right. This head on here. Hair is gone wild underneath. May not work with this head. There we go. And with this head, we'll use one of his more serious looking faces. All right, so you really got to work that in there. And then pull the hat off with Luffy. All right. And the hat goes on like this. Eventually. There we go. All right, so now you have the alternate head with the hat on it. All right, the iconic straw hat. So if you want them to wear that, you can. Now, if you could get one face working with this, all the faces will also work with this head too. So overall, that works well. Pull the hat off. pull this head off. Put the other one back on. Alright. Get this goofy little hairpiece wants to move all around on me. There it goes. Let's do the silly face. Alright. So that's the silly face. Works on there fine. No issues. Alright. Let's go with his other happy looking face. Alright, that works in there as well. Now I'm just putting the faces on without putting the hair in place, just because, you know, it makes it a lot easier just to show instead of taking the hair off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. Alright. So there's the other more serious looking face. And what have you. Come on, dude, stand. So all the faces swapped out very easily. I didn't have any issues with any of that. I'll put the straw hat on him. Oops. The Luffy has a hat back on. Now we're going to go through all the different hands. So there's a lot of different hands here. So first off, you got this small hand here. All right. Now this hand is meant to hold a spoon. All right, there we go. Put the spoon in here. All right, so put that fist over there. Let's get one of these open hands in here. All right. So as you see, those two hands work fine. No issues with that. All right, let's do these other two open hands. Now these hands are swapping out pretty easily. A lot of times I have a problem with the ones that have the joint here in the wrist. Sometimes they don't want to work out right. But for this particular figure, it seems to be fine. All right. Open hands do work fine with no issues. All right. Now the two holding hands. All right. So you got this one here. All right. That fits in there pretty well. And this one eventually. There it goes. All right. Both of your holding hands fit well in there. No issues with any of that. Now the sword. Now these fingers move very easily. So I could pop that sword in there very nicely with no issues. All right, that fits very well in that hand. No issues at all with that. Let's try it in the other hand. All right. Oops. All right. So that works there. Matter of fact, well, I got it like this. Put the scabbard through here. Oh, you know what? I think it has to go in this way. No, it don't go in that way. Ooh. Hold on. That off of there. Man, that don't want to work. That definitely don't want to work. All right, so I looked at the box real quick. So what you have to do is you got to take this tip piece off here. to get that up there. So once you take that off, I could just pop right back into place eventually. There it goes. So now he could carry that sword scabbard as well. So the sword does fit well into this hand. And the scabbard fits very well over there as well. Whoops. Gosh, he's giving me problems today. And of course, you could put the sword in here like this. Remove that. So now you can have him holding the sword. Have the sword right there with no issues. All right. So now let's do his cutoff arm. So this should just pop right out of the joint, which it did. And pop that right in there. So that works just as well. No issues with any of that. Now let's see how well this cape works with him. All right, so the cape goes on really nicely. Now, the nice thing about this cape is it's a wireframe cape. So that means you can, maneuver it however you want with this wireframe. So if you want be like dramatic, have it like that on him, you can. You want to close up the collar more, you could do that as well. So there's a lot more you could do with one of these wireframe capes. I love when they come with the wireframe capes. And now you got to put them in the iconic position. So let's take this off of him. Let's put the more open hand here. All right, get him onto his knees. Sort of. Get Luffy there. So now you can also do the iconic Shanks putting on the hat. And this looks very nice. I'm going to try to get him with a good rotation. See if the two figures will actually hold into place. All right. And of course, Shanks falls over. But as you can see, this does work very well, actually. I like how that looks. It's one of the most iconic scenes from One Piece. So everything seems to work very well with this figure. And now, last but not least, you do have the Luffy face that goes on the Luffy. So we pull this head off. And you pop this face on. Put the hair back on. Alright, there you go. Now you got that face on Luffy, which of course works very well. Alright, so let's get into my final thoughts with this figure. So first off, all his joints move very well. Had no issues with any of his joints. Everything moved how it should. As for his accessories, all his accessories fit fine with him. I had a little bit of trouble with the scabbard, but that was more of a me problem. If I would have looked at the directions, I would have saw that you take that little cap off and then it slides right in and puts that cap back on. So, that was more of a me thing. The hands at the wrists didn't move too much when I tried to put the hands on. So that was a plus. And the fingers are sort of soft, so it makes it easy to get the weapons in and out of his hands. So, all that work. As for his overall look, I love the overall look to this figure. I think he looks great. I love the factor that they even gave him Luffy to do the iconic exchanging of the hat scene. So I love the factor that they did that. I also like with his cape that it's a wireframe cape, so that makes it a lot more posable and you can do a lot more with him. So would I recommend this figure? Absolutely. I feel like this is a must-have for anybody's One Piece collection This is such a very well done figure. And I feel like they put a lot of thought into him with all the accessories, facial expressions, and like I said earlier, the mere factor that he comes with young Luffy, so you could do the iconic hat scene, is great. They definitely put a lot of work into this figure, so I would highly recommend this figure to anybody who's a One Piece collector. So, with that being said, I hope you guys did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my One Piece playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it helps this channel grow. So, until the next one, late.